Guys, are we live? Yeah, we are live. Okay, good. Hello, my viewers. Welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. If you guys coming from the Arsenal D.B channel, I accidentally ended the stream early. With a few minutes left. But luckily, the Steelers did win. The Steelers got the stop in the end, turn on downs, got the ball back. Was able to get the kneel down, of course, victory formation and win this game. But this game, of course, even though the Steelers won, you know, it's still a lot of things the Steelers need to fix in their games, of course, because this game right here was all over the place. We've seen a lot of things happen. The game was very wacky and very crazy. But one thing that was very consistent in this game, the defense played phenomenal in this game. Now, they allowed some yardage, of course, but only 14 points. They played bend but don't break type of style defense. But the reason I say phenomenal is because the turnovers, being able to get stops like that and going out there and stopping stuff. Yes, they got beat a little bit on the ground. They did a lot over 100 rushing yards again in this game. And yes, they got beat in the air a little bit. Hunter Henry had a touchdown, 2 touchdowns actually. Or that 4th down play he had up the middle. But overall, the defense did their thing in getting stops. Not 1, not 2, not 3. They got like 4 forced fumbles, which is crazy to see it happen. I was surprised that the Patriots put the ball on the ground that many times. The first time it happened, I think it was, who was it? I think it was Cole Holcomb. Yeah, he was in there in the mix. And we see Jabril Peppers knock one in, of course, in the mix. We seen one. Cam Hayward got his hand on one and knocked it out, of course. And then we see Herbert with the strip sack, of course, knocking it out. And then we got the interception. So 5 turnovers in this game. Steelers defense played real good in this game. And they won this game for the Steelers in general. Now, I still think the Steelers got a lot of things to clean up offensively, but let me break down some of the stuff, of course. Some of the stuff I got for the stats and stuff. Let me break that down. Let me pull this to the side so I can see. So I can see everything. If you're watching after, leave your thoughts down below as well, of course. But the main stat, of course, look at of course, is the game totals right now. Steelers had only 202 total yards, which is crazy. The offense only had 202 total yards. At one point in the game, second quarter, the offense only had 20 yards in second quarter. Third quarter, not that much more. I think it was like, what, 40-something, I think? And then the penalty yardage helped them out a little bit on some of those drives, but the offense did not look the best, of course, throughout the game. They looked good at the beginning of the game, but then when we got to the end of the game, I don't know what happened in the second quarter. I don't know what happened in the third quarter. I don't know what happened in the fourth quarter. They made one good drive, but I don't know what's going on with the offense. They started playing a little just shaky. But still able to get it done when necessary to go out there and get a good drive. On my rushing yards, we had 63 rushing yards today. Still under 100. What the Steelers want to be at, they want to be at that 100-yard mark, especially with the way our defense is playing. But for right now, we're still a little shaky. And then you look at, actually, let me make sure I can hear myself. Yeah, we can hear. Okay, we can still hear. Okay, a little shaky. But then you look at, of course, the receiver core. DK Metcalf made a big time play. He had a touchdown, of course, on the side. But I feel like throughout the game, the receivers, and of course, Calvin Austin touchdown at the end of the game as well. But the receivers wasn't really getting, like, I don't know. I feel like we wasn't getting a lot of separation like we shouldn't have gotten. Christian Gonzalez was already injured, and he was out to today's game. He was one of their top cornerback, and we still wasn't able to get all the separation we were trying to get. And in the run game, we had some success early on, but then at one point, it was just 1-yard carry, 2-yard carry, 1-yard carry, 2-yard carry. It was just like we was just kind of stuck and stagnant. We couldn't really get anywhere. But the Steelers did do enough to get it done. On third down, the Steelers was 4 for 9 on third down. Not the best. And then you look at total plays, 49 total plays. The Patriots had 71. Steelers had 26 minutes of time possession. The last drive cut that out a lot because before that, the Patriots was up by a good margin, about 10 minutes on us in time possession. They was able to run the ball and do the things they wanted to do. They had 33 minutes of time possession on us, and they had over 119 rushing yards as well. So they beat us in every metric: total yards, rushing yards, yards per play. But Steelers, the turnovers would comes to the Steelers. 4 fumble recoveries, and then you look at the interceptions as well, like that getting the interception. Aaron Rodgers did throw interception to them as well too. But the game was just very crazy in general. But you look at some of the yard totals though offensively, like the Patriots should have won this game. You look at it based off of that. You just look at the stat sheet. But when you actually see the turnover differential, you're like, that's why they lost, because they had more yards, total yards, rushing yards, yards per play, everything. So that right there was crazy. What's up, Jerry? Yeah, that game right there was crazy. I accidentally ended the stream a little early. I was like, what the heck? I had to rewind back so I could see the last few minutes. I was like, okay, it got a little better at the end with the defense getting the stop. But I don't know, the offense, I don't know. It seemed like they like a little bit not ready to be a top level offense. The defense played better today. I'm hoping to see that going forward. It's only one game. So next week it's the Vikings. The Vikings just put up like 40 freaking points against the Bengals. So we got to play that next week in Ireland. So hopefully they don't put 40 points on us as well. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the offensive line continues to be suspect. Yes. For some reason, now they have moments throughout the game, like the last drive and the drives that we scored touchdowns on. When we got the ball out fast, but Steelers sometimes want to hold the ball a little bit and push the ball down the field, and the offensive line seems to not hold up. And usually they do a solid job. Like we seen some success in week 1 and week 2 when we was running the ball a little bit. It wasn't the best, of course, but it was like at least solid enough. But in this game right here, they wasn't able to get any push or any force, and the offensive line was just like getting bullied out there. Jalen Warren had 18 carries. They stayed with the run. They stayed with it, established it. They keep them going, and they didn't want to shy away from it. They want to stay with it and kind of impose their will. But he had 18 carries for 47 yards. That's not gonna cut it. And then 2 yards per carry for him. And then Kenneth Gainwell 4 for 16. He had a touchdown, of course. Then you look at total yards. Only had 63 rushing yards. So it's like they try to establish the run, of course, with getting handoffs at the handoffs, but it just wasn't enough like that because you can't get anything going when the offensive line is getting beat a lot. The Steelers did have success when they did some of the runs to the right side. That's one thing I did see. Remember, Jalen Warren had some first down runs to the right side. They had a little more success. So maybe that's something to maybe like lean on to a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. They got to fix that somehow. I know you can fix the passing game with getting the ball out fast with the offensive line, but I don't know how you're supposed to fix the old line not being able to block, run block. Short passes can sometimes be a stitcher to your run game a little bit. You can might mix some things up, but man, it's like very shaky out there for them. Yeah, but let's break down some of the player stats. Now, player stats, we see, of course. Let's see. We got let's see what Browns the Browns beat the Packers? That's a lie. The Browns beat the Packers? What the heck? The Browns hand the Packers their first loss. When I looked at the game, the Packers was up 10-0. I don't know what quarter that was, though. The Packers lost to the Browns? Oh, my God. The Browns scored 13 unanswered points. That's a story for a different time. That's crazy. The Browns beat the Packers. What the hell? But you look at the defense. We got Patrick Queen. We see him in the mix, and we seen Cole Holcomb finally getting some meaningful snaps. And what happened? He get a forced fumble. We've been talking about Cole Holcomb a lot. I discussed him on the game preview. I was like, please put some big bodies in there, some guys in there that can go out there and make like some crazy plays, of course, as well, like that. It'd be like going downhill and Jabril Peppers. You have Cole Holcomb, some big bodies out there. Patrick Queen had those guys out there in that unit, and they did a good job, I think. Of course, a run, they still had 100 rushing yards, of course, but they did do a good job in putting the hit on people, getting turnovers, being playmakers. That was good. Yeah, that's why I said, yeah, that right there is crazy. Like, the Browns beating the Packers. I'm like, what? I'm like, I know the Packers are a cool team. I'm not saying they're like unbeatable, but you up 10-0 against the Browns and you lose to the Browns? That's crazy. I know some Packer fans going crazy. I know Tom Grossi. I've been watching him. He's a good YouTuber as well. He's going crazy probably. You got Peyton Wilson. He played better this game. He had a fumble recovery. Brandon Echols. He got beat. Remember on one play. Not beat, but he had the pass interference that led to a touchdown. But he did make up for it with the interception at halftime. Cam Hayward had a sack in this game, but he also had a forced fumble too as well. Had a hand on it at the goal line and saved that play and getting a strip out as well. And then you look at Jabril Peppers had a forced fumble in the game. T.J. Watt had 2 sacks in the game and a fumble recovery in this game. Played better football too, and they finally utilized him better. So like we start seeing guys from the other side. Derek Carmen being back might have been a big help for the Steelers. Because we seen pressure up front, and we seen T.J. Watt able to get free, and they couldn't really hold up Cam Hayward and Derek Harmon up front. They was getting in there, and I believe Derek Harmon had a sack too. Yeah, he had a sack in this game as well. So Derek Harmon had a sack, Cam Hayward had a sack. Derek Harmon first game here, our #1 draft pick from this year, went out there and played good like that. They brought more force up front. Now the run defense, we still got to get that fully fixed. But when you're going out there and making plays and going out there and be able to hit people, and you're able to get your guys in there. You get 2 sacks from T.J. Watt, a sack from Harmon, a sack from Hayward as well, a sack from Herbig, the strip sack he had, of course, that was the last turnover that we've seen. He came across around the edge, got the ball the opposite hand, got it out. T.J. Watt recovered it. To get 5 sacks in the game, very impressive. 5 sacks, 5 forced turnovers as well. That's the defense the Steelers was trying to make when they was in the offseason, when they was bringing in Jalen Ramsey, bringing in Darius Slay, bringing in all these different guys, of course, to add. And you got Jabril Peppers in the mix, Derek Harmon, you draft him, and all the different people we have. And we still missing, of course, Deshaun Elliott, another guy who can play some very good defense for us. And we also missing, of course, JPJ, another guy who plays very good on the outside coverage for us. So you have some guys, of course, that can possibly be back. I don't know if they'll be back next week or not. I think Deshaun Elliott will be back next week. They said it's expected for him to be back. So that'd be good to have, of course. But, yeah, the defense did good, I think, overall. I know he allowed 100 rushing yards, so people are going to bring that up, of course, which is rightfully so. But overall, the defense did a good job in making plays, getting 5 sacks, getting the 5 forced turnovers as well. The offense, of course, didn't capitalize on everything, but they did capitalize when it mattered the most on that last turnover to get enough points to win this game. And I don't think that matters, like I mentioned many times. Win the game. Winning the game is always very good. What's up, Gene? What's up? Yeah, but that right there is a crazy victory for the Steelers. You know, the game is very crazy. When you have those guys out there, the playmakers defensively, you bring them in for a reason to be able to make turnovers. We got turnovers last year. I think last year was top 5 in turnovers. Year before that, around the same range. And now you see us, of course, getting back to it. I know it's only one game, but you'll take it like that. And you'll see you can build upon that next week. And then the offense been a little shaky. Of course, they went crazy in week 1 against the Jets. Then last week, they didn't play too good. And this week, they didn't play too good, but they did make enough plays to get it done. It's kind of like the old school type Steeler games we usually see, where the score is low, and all we need is 20 points to win. And I'll take the wins. I don't care about how you win. Like I know I want us to put more points, of course, as well. We could have had like 30 points probably in this game if you score on more turnovers, but I don't care how the win comes. Like, you can win 3-0 as long as you're on the winning side. No one cares about the stats if you lose. Tom Brady threw for 500 yards in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. They lost the game. No one talking about the 500-yard game, of course. They talk about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. They talk about Nick Foles making that touchdown catch in the Super Bowl. He have a statue outside like that. You don't get a statue for just throwing the yards in the game or having these crazy stats. You get it for James Winston do? Well, he do like this. The W. The W. That's what you get it for. You get it for the W. So the Steelers got the win, of course, in this game. A lot of things to clean up, but you're not going to reach your full potential in week 3. Like week 7, week 8, that's when you kind of get your stride, when you start seeing exactly what type of team you are. When you start playing almost 10 games, you get kind of close to that mark, you see what team you are, and you see your team is built enough to make a big-time run. You're not going to reach your full potential in week 3. So I know a lot of fans last week was like, oh, sell the team. They would say all type of crazy stuff. They said, trade everybody, trade TJ, trade everybody, fire everybody. I'm like, but it's only the first few weeks in. We've only been 3 weeks in. It's like we've been going through a lot. But it's only 3 weeks in. We're 2-1 right now. You got to play another game against the Vikings, of course. Should be a good game. But, hey, you take a win how you take it. What's up? What's up? I'm fired up. Yeah. What's up, Toddy? What's up? So D showed up. Offense showed up. Miscommunication on both sides. Yeah. Harmon got a first sack. Rodgers broke a record. Yeah, Rodgers passed Brett Favre for the 4th most touchdown passes. You know, got Tom Brady at 649. I don't think anybody catching that. that's a lot to catch. And then you have Drew Brees. Then you have Peyton Manning. And then you have Aaron Rodgers. And then Brett Favre at number 5. Now, but yeah, to see Derek Harmon get a sack was nice. Cam Hayward get a sack. Nick Herbert with a strip sack. And then you see TJ Watt with 2 sacks. And then, you know, there's everybody, yeah. Everybody who had a sack in the game. And then you look at, of course, Jabril Peppers, forced fumble. We brought him in, of course, last week. He didn't play a lot last week. This week he played, coming downhill, getting a big hit, got a forced fumble. And just seeing the way our team is playing. Cole Holcomb getting a forced fumble as well. That right there was good. The defense helped win this game. Offense did enough, though. I know they didn't play the best throughout the whole game, but it mattered the most. When time was on, the pressure was on, made plays. That's all you can ask for. Yeah, the Cam Hayward one, too, in that goal line play he made. The sack was cool, but the forced fumble that he did, that right there was good because he had his hand on it like that on Stevenson and then got the ball out. Because Stevenson would have scored a touchdown right there. But he had his hand on it, got the ball out like that, and then was able to get the recovery, of course. The Steelers did a good job. They played bend but don't break type defense. Yes, they allow a good amount of yards, 300 yards, of course. Patriots put up, but hey, you only got 14 points. You can have 500 yards, but if you only put up 14 points, I don't care. I don't care how many yards you have. The Steelers defense went out there and got turnovers. They were able to stop them and held them to only 14 points. And you'll take that every time, every single time. So that right there was a big time victory by the Steelers. Seeing the Steelers defense of old go out there and lock in. Now next week is gonna be crazy. You got to play against the Vikings. The Vikings put up 40. Actually, look at some of those scores. Let me look at some of the AFC North. Oh, that's what I've been doing. I forgot to do the weekly AFC North updates. I forgot about that. I was doing last year. I do a weekly update. I'm gonna start doing it tomorrow. You'll see the video tomorrow. AFC North. Well, actually, you probably see it on Tuesday because the Ravens play tomorrow, I think. But AFC North updates. I forgot to do that. That's one video I've been doing. But while we're at it right now, let's see some of the scores of the games. See Vikings versus the Vikings 48-10. We gotta put the Vikings, of course. I'm doing a quick little preview on the Vikings right now. Okay, Carson Wentz had 2 touchdowns in the game for 173 yards. Jordan Mason, because Aaron Jones is injured. He's on IR, so he will not be in this game. The next game we played him. Jordan Mason, 16 carries for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. 5 for 75 for Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase had 5 for 50. Jay Browning threw 2 picks in the game. He threw like 3 or 4 last week. Man, what happened? How did you just they get blown out like this? Because we look at the numbers, I need to see the sack totals. It gotta be something crazy. How they getting blown out like this? That is crazy. 48 points on them. On the sack totals, Van Ginkel, of course, he was a Pro Bowler last year as well. He's all Pro too. He had 2 sacks. Chambliss had 1 sack. Austin Keys had a sack as well. Yeah, they got after them. 2 turnovers as well. They capitalized on probably each thing. Man. Oh, they had a pick 6 too. I forgot. Isaiah Rodgers had a pick 6. I didn't see that highlight. So yeah, we got the Vikings next week. They come off a big victory. They beat the Bengals, so we thank them for that. But they got a big victory, 48-10. The Browns beating the Packers is still crazy to me. I need to watch that game and see what happened. But yeah, the Steelers got the victory. Got a tough matchup against the Vikings next week. That's a good matchup though. I love to see matchups that are tough, so we can see what kind of team we have. Of course, I know it's only now be week 4, of course, and your team will reach its full potential. Early on, like in the first 4 weeks, you got to wait till you get down a little bit. So we'll see if the Steelers can find a way to, pull through, get a victory. You'll be playing in Ireland. I'm going to have before game day, the Ireland edition. And then I think after that is a bye week. And then after that, I'm going to have another edition. I think we put the Browns after that game. So, yeah, things will start heating up. We'll start getting some tougher matchups, of course. So I hope you guys are ready to see the Steelers do. But, yeah, today is a good victory. You take the win how you take it. I know a lot of I see some fans already saying, he said, was Waitman. Corliss Waitman? Corliss Waitman, he did pretty good in today's game, I think. He had a few, because the Steelers went 3 and out a few times in their own territory. He did boom some punts the best he could, like that, in that game. His special teams look better on kick returns. And we're seeing Isaiah Gainwell out there on kick returns and Trey Sermon as well. Both of those guys on kick returns and punt returns. So I feel like that's probably the combination to go with. And Caleb Johnson, we did not see him today, I don't think. Unless I missed it, but I didn't see Caleb Johnson out there. I hope to see Caleb Johnson get utilized a lot more. We drafted him in the 3rd round for a reason. He's a power back, of course, for a reason. So I like to see him a lot more on the offensive side. But special teams look better in today's game. We didn't have any mishaps in kick return or punt return. Corliss Waitman was boom. He had the booming because he had a lot of 3 and outs, especially at one point in the game, the Steelers scored a touchdown in the first quarter, second quarter, and then the early second quarter. And after that, it was nothing but 3 and outs. Nothing but 3 and outs. Nothing but kind of just 3 plays, 4 plays maybe if you get lucky, 4 or 5 plays, and then you just punting it. A lot of punts and stuff. Of course, Waitman did the best he could. He had some good punts. He had some. I think he had 2 inside the 10. He had 1 they had on the sideline, of course. So he did a solid job, of course. I was so surprised that he beat out Cameron Johnson. He beat him out. I was like, okay. And then he been doing a good job so far. Boswell, of course. Boswell, he didn't get a chance to kick any field goals, but he kicked all his PATs, of course, right down the middle. And Boswell is playing at a high level. He's going to get paid some big-time money, of course, the best kicker in the league. But, yeah, overall, the team went out there and handled business. The defense, of course, the focal point of today's game, of course, going out there making plays. When plays did happen against them, like that 4th down play, Hunter Henry getting a touchdown, tying the game up, they still answer right back. And the Patriots drive down the field, get momentum going. Herbig out of nowhere, like a cannon. He one thing I look at him, his get off is very fast, like that. Very fast get off, get out there behind him, swatted it. That's how you do it. But yeah, that's basically all I have for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys later on the What Went Right segment on the Arsenal D.B. channel. Since we won, it'll be What Went Right. I'll talk about some of the top plays I did later, maybe on this channel as well. Maybe either later today or maybe tomorrow. I'll have my game MVPs and spoiler alert, is all defense. So we'll see who makes the game MVPs list. But yeah, that's all I have, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace out.